You think you know what power looks like. It's the person who takes up the most space, has the loudest voice, and holds eye contact until you look away. That's the advice, anyway. The problem is, that advice is a trap. In the wrong context, it will make you look weak, insecure, and desperate. The real signals of authority are quieter, subtler, and much harder to fake. Where do you stand? By the end of this, you might change your mind. The common playbook for projecting power is all about expansion. Spread your arms out on the table, take a wide stance, lean back in your chair with your hands behind your head. It's a direct physical claim on territory. You're signaling that you are comfortable, you're in control, and you are unafraid. In a boardroom, the person physically dominating the most space is often perceived as the leader. Their gestures are big, their voice fills the room, and their posture is open and undefended. This works. It triggers a primal response in others. It can be intimidating, forcing deference from those around you. We see it in the animal kingdom, and we see it in the C-suite. The logic seems unbreakable. To be seen as big, act big, that sounds convincing. But there's a problem. This entire strategy depends on one hidden variable, your pre-existing status. If you are the established CEO, leaning back with your feet up signals relaxed authority. It works because your position is undisputed. But if you're a junior analyst trying the same pose in a meeting with senior executives, you're sending a different signal entirely. It's read as arrogance. It's seen as a presumptuous bid for status you haven't earned. The exact same body language that reads as confident on a high-status person reads as insecure overcompensation on someone with lower or ambiguous status. The group's perception of your legitimacy acts as a filter. When your signals are incongruent with your perceived rank, they backfire. You look like you're trying too hard. And trying to look powerful is the least powerful thing you can do. Think about the last time you saw someone truly deeply in charge. A seasoned judge in a courtroom, a 4-star general at a press conference, a surgeon in the middle of a complex operation. What do you see? You see economy. You see stillness. The judge doesn't need to shout. A slight turn of the head silences the room. The general doesn't fidget. Their hands are calm. Their posture is composed. Their authority radiates from a place of profound stillness. This is the counterintuitive truth. While low-status individuals burn nervous energy with fidgeting, leg bouncing, and constant self-soothing gestures like touching their face or neck, high-status individuals conserve it. They are the calm center around which the chaos of others revolves. Their movements are few, but each one is deliberate and has weight. A nod, a single slow hand gesture, a shift in their gaze. Each minimal action carries immense signal. This stillness communicates that they have nothing to prove. They are the destination. They don't need to move toward you. You are expected to orient toward them. And yet the other side has its own blind spot. Pure stillness can be misread. It can look like disengagement, passivity, or even fear if you get it wrong. The person staring blankly might be a master of the universe, or they might just be overwhelmed. The difference is incredibly subtle. It lives in the hands and the eyes. Nervous hands are the biggest tell. They ring, they tap, they hide in pockets, they fiddle with pens. They betray the anxiety the face is trying to conceal. Powerful hands are still, but ready. They rest calmly on the table, often in an asymmetrical way, one hand flat, the other slightly curled. This asymmetry signals relaxation. A perfectly symmetrical pose, like two hands folded neatly, can look rigid and defensive. Holding an object, like a glass of water or a pen, with absolute steadiness, turns that object into a symbol of your own composure. The object becomes an extension of your calm. Then there are the eyes. Anxious eyes dart around the room, seeking approval and scanning for threats. They break contact first. A powerful gaze is different. It's calm, steady, and focused. When someone is speaking to them, the powerful individual gives relaxed, sustained eye contact. But here is the critical part. When they speak, they hold your gaze. And when they are finished making their point, they are the ones who look away first. This small act is a powerful turn-taking signal. They have finished their broadcast. The channel is now closed. They control the flow of engagement. The subordinate is left holding the eye contact, waiting for the next cue. It's a subtle assertion of control over the social rhythm itself. That prolonged gaze from the other side feels like a question, an expectation. It forces the lower status person to fill the silence. This model of quiet, minimal, controlled authority seems bulletproof. But it collapses the moment you face a different kind of challenge. What if your goal is to inspire a crowd, to build rapport, to generate excitement? Imagine a political rally. A leader standing perfectly still, with a calm gaze and minimal gestures, would fall completely flat. The context demands energy, it demands passion, it demands expressive, expansive movement. This is the charisma playbook, and it looks almost opposite to the gravitas playbook. Charismatic leaders use open palm gestures, they move around the stage, they modulate their voice with energy and emotion. They use their body to create a feeling of inclusion and shared excitement. They are a wave, not a rock. A founder pitching their company to investors needs to radiate this kind of infectious energy. A coach firing up their team before a championship game needs it. The mistake is thinking one of these models is universally correct. They are different tools for different jobs. The true meta skill of power is situational fluency. It's knowing whether the moment requires you to be the calm, immovable center of gravity or the dynamic force that moves the entire room. Projecting gravitas in a moment that calls for charisma makes you look cold and disconnected. Projecting charisma in a moment that calls for gravitas makes you look foolish and lightweight. The Federal Reserve Chairman needs to project absolute boring stability. The social activist needs to project urgent, passionate change. Using the wrong body language is like showing up to a negotiation in a party hat. The tool doesn't fit the task. The most powerful people are code switchers. They read the room, understand the objective, and deploy the physical signals that will achieve it. They are masters of context. This brings us to the core tension. It's a conflict between performing authority and embodying it. One approach focuses on the external signals, learning the poses, mastering the eye contact, controlling the gestures. It's a kind of armor you put on. It can be effective, but it's brittle. If you're having a bad day, if you're stressed, if your underlying status is challenged, the performance can crack. And the sight of that crack is more damaging than never having performed at all. The other approach focuses on the internal state. It's about cultivating a genuine competence and self-possession so profound that your body language naturally settles into a state of calm. You are no longer doing powerful body language. You are simply being, and your body reflects that state. One is a conscious effort to control how others see you. The other is a byproduct of mastering yourself. So where do you focus your attention? Do you practice the steepled fingers and the wide stance, hoping the external costume will eventually shape the person inside? Or do you work on building the kind of deep expertise and inner calm that makes any conscious performance of power unnecessary? One path promises a shortcut. The other promises something that can't be taken away from you. Where do you draw the line between confident signaling and insecure posturing?